And most of all, no fighting, John. If anybody gets in my face, I'm knocking them out. Come on, John, best. I mean what I...
It's a big lump, John Fury, and he's getting on a little bit, but there might be a few illegal moves from John Fury. But Froch is a hard bastard.
Well, a lot of people's forgetting I put all this together. Me. The story, I've read him, and everybody seems to be having a field day, and I seem to be there with my nose pressed up against the window, letting all these people do what they're going to do. If it wasn't for me...
John Fury just erupted on his own son with the most devastating question in boxing history. Are you my son or his? 4 words that cut deeper than any punch and exposed a family feud that's about to explode into absolute chaos. This isn't just father-son drama anymore. This is about pride, legacy, and a 60-year-old man who's ready to destroy anyone who questions his power, including Carl Froch, the former world champion who made the fatal mistake of thinking John Fury was all talk and no action.
This is a message you've all been waiting for. Carl the Worm Froch, you've got yourself a fight. Where do you want to fight at, mate? We'll do it in the ring, under the lights. I'll fight you at Tottenham in 8 weeks' time. Me and you, Tottenham, undercard, 8 weeks' time, you'll get that, because I know you're a I know you're not a man. A 3-time Wall of Fame, you might be all at 12 stone, mate. You're not nothing at heavyweight, my pal. I'd laugh at you when you hit me. But listen, we've talked too much. I'm not going to make a long video. Get Netflix to contact me. Let's talk about this, because it's about this. You know that and I know that, and you've got yourself a fight, mate. You can fight the father of the best heavyweight in the world, the Gypsy King's father, and I'll tell you now, I will not disgrace my son by letting a bum like you even come close to beating me. You got yourself a fight, Mr. Froch. 8 weeks Tottenham. I don't need 6 months training. I'm ready to go now, my pal.
Here's where everything spirals out of control. John Fury isn't backing down from anyone, and when I say anyone, I mean he's literally calling out a former super middleweight world champion who knocked out George Groves at Wembley Stadium. But here's what makes this absolutely insane. John genuinely believes he can flatten Froch in 8 weeks. Not 8 months of training camp. 8 weeks in Tottenham, no excuses, no delays. And the way he's talking, this isn't delusional confidence. This is a man who's been in bare-knuckle fights since before most people knew boxing existed. He's telling Froch to stop wasting time, get in the car, and face the consequences of running his mouth about the Fury family.
Punch his head in, I really would, because he's such a big loudmouth gob who's done all, living off his son's name. And it actually winds me up when I think about when he started on Carl Frampton, a good friend of mine.
Answer the question now.
He started on the smallest man in the room at the Usyk press conference, headbutted him. I feel like it might be my job to finally shut this big gob up. All he does is run around, running his mouth, beating his chest, the ultimate man and all that. Listen to me, so it goes into that thick skull. I accept your challenge, but know one thing. When that first bell goes, I'm going to come over to your corner and absolutely stick it on you, Cobra style. Make a mess of you. You know why? Because you're a bully and you need putting in your place.
But Carl Froch isn't some random fighter getting intimidated by big talk. This man fought Mikkel Kessler, Andre Ward, and Lucian Butte when they were at their absolute peak. And right now, he's absolutely furious with John Fury's antics. Froch is calling John a loudmouth who's living off his son's name, riding Tyson's coattails while talking like he's still a legitimate threat. Here's the kicker, though Froch actually accepted the challenge. He's not running from this fight. He's promising to shut John up in the ring and show him what happens when you mistake media attention for actual boxing ability. The man who knocked out George Groves with 80,000 people watching thinks John Fury is about to learn a brutal lesson about the difference between talking tough and actually being tough.
Got fight somewhere, so he didn't get anyone interested in it. Who cares what they think? They're just average little boxers, no personality.
Now here's where the family drama gets even more complicated. Tyson Fury, the actual heavyweight champion of the world, is trying to be the voice of reason in this madness. He's genuinely worried about his father's safety, and that should tell you everything about how serious this situation has become. When the Gypsy King himself is concerned about someone's ability to handle a fight, that's not just family protection, that's legitimate fear. Tyson knows Carl Froch better than most people realize. He studied his fights, understands his power, and recognizes that this isn't some washed-up former champion looking for attention. This is a guy who could genuinely hurt his father, and Tyson's caught between respecting his dad's warrior spirit and preventing him from walking into a disaster.
Punching heavyweight division, changing everything. Magwadov's capable of doing that. He's a big, strong man, as you can see. Tyson's an elite boxer, but what's he got left? I don't know. Because you'll only know when you get in that ring, and then it's too late. You know, let's just see. Tyson's not a stupid man. He knows where he's at. He feels good in training, but in training is one thing, in the ring.
But John Fury is absolutely raging at his son's intervention, and this is where that iconic line comes from. Are you my son or his? It wasn't just a question. It was pure betrayal, frustration, and a father feeling completely disrespected by the one person who should have his back unconditionally. John's argument actually makes sense when you think about it. He's telling Tyson that if this fight is too dangerous for him, then how is Tyson supposed to handle someone like Alexander Usyk or any other elite heavyweight? In John's mind, he's not just defending his own honor. He's testing himself to prove that the Fury family genetics are still as dangerous as ever. He wants to show that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and if he can handle Froch, then Tyson should be able to handle anyone.
Each other.
If John Fury stuck it on Carl Froch in his space, I think he would chin him immediately.
Really? Even live on Netflix?
Yes. Because these guys, they don't allow you.
Here's where this gets absolutely wild. Eddie Hearn, who's seen every type of fighter imaginable, genuinely believes John Fury could knock out Carl Froch instantly if they actually fought. Not after a few rounds, not with lucky punch instantly. Hearn is emphasizing that John's raw physical presence and natural power are still legitimate threats, even at his age. This isn't promotional hype or media manipulation. Hearn has been around world champions, knockout artists, and absolute killers in the ring, and he's saying John Fury's strength commands that level of respect. When a promoter who's worked with Anthony Joshua, Canelo Alvarez, and Gennady Golovkin tells you someone can end a fight fast, you listen.
That's my best for the camps, because no one's listening. And everybody's better at their job than me, so I'm letting them carry on.
So did you get reports from...
Meanwhile, Carl Froch is getting more furious by the day, and his patience is completely gone. He's telling John Fury to back off, stay in his lane, and remember his place in the boxing hierarchy. But here's what's fascinating: Froch isn't dismissing John as harmless. He's genuinely preparing for serious consequences if this escalates. The way he's talking suggests he knows John isn't just some delusional old man living in the past. Froch has that edge in his voice, that competitive fire that made him a world champion, and he's ready to defend himself against whatever John brings to the table. This is two alphas refusing to back down, and neither one believes the other is bluffing.
I'm not saying that I condone that behaviour, because I don't. You can't, it's impossible to. But John is my mate, I've got respect for him, I respect the family, we're cool. So you're never going to hear me say a bad word about it, but at the same time, obviously,
No.
it's probably not the Steve Bunce thing. I felt blood.
Dave Allen brings a different perspective that most people are missing. He admits John Fury's behavior is extreme, over the top, and sometimes hard to watch, but he genuinely respects the man's loyalty to family and his reputation in the boxing community. Allen understands something crucial: John's intensity isn't an act for the cameras. This is genuinely who he is, and his commitment to protecting the Fury legacy is absolute. Allen has been around enough fighters to recognize authentic toughness versus manufactured drama, and he's saying John's courage and commitment are the real deal. When active professional fighters are giving you that level of respect, it means your reputation was earned through actions, not words.
Another running video this morning, but not just a running video. I'm going to be the first man to fight a 3-time Hall of Famer. We're just doing it myself. John Fury style. Running, bare knuckle, heavy bag, eating, living in the woods, chopping trees, eating the filth of the earth. I'm doing it gypsy style. I'm going to prove to everybody out there.
But here's the part that really explains John Fury's mindset. This is pure old-school gypsy warrior mentality, and most people don't understand what that actually means. John is emphasizing self-reliance, raw mental toughness, and the psychological edge that comes from living hard every single day of your life. No fancy trainers, no scientific nutrition plans, no sports psychology, just sheer willpower, determination, and the absolute refusal to be intimidated by anyone. This is a man who's been in real fights when the consequences were more serious than losing a boxing match. His confidence isn't based on recent training footage or sparring videos. It's based on decades of proving himself when it actually mattered, and he's sending a clear message that age hasn't changed his fundamental nature.
Online and do videos, but not expect someone to say anything when you see someone. So I don't know. Listen, my dad's got his ways and his points, and 90% of the time he's half right, but listen.
Shane Fury gives us insight into the family dynamic that most people never see. John's unpredictable behavior isn't random chaos. It's calculated, experienced, and usually based on instincts that have kept him alive and respected in environments where weakness gets you destroyed. Shane explains that John acts on things that other people only complain about online, and his track record of being right about threats and challenges is actually pretty impressive. This adds a layer most fans don't consider. John's fiery behavior comes from a combination of protection, pride, and genuine readiness to handle whatever consequences come from his actions. The Fury family operates on loyalty, toughness, and instinct, and John is the embodiment of all three principles.
John Fury, Froch, who wins that one?
Difficult one to call, that,
Really?
You got to go with
Really?
Cobra. You got to go with a Cobra, mate.
Really?
The Cobra's dangerous. He's still in shape. 48 years of age.
John standing over there behind you.
You got to go with John Fury. Yeah, no, it kicked off a little bit. But it wasn't only Cole Froch that he went into either, did he? He actually went into Lennox Lewis as well. He started steaming into Lennox Lewis a little bit, and I go, whoa, who wins that?
Spencer Oliver paints the most vivid picture of why John Fury is still genuinely dangerous at 60 years old. The Cobra nickname wasn't given to him by marketing people. It was earned through legitimate intimidation, natural strength, and ring experience that few people can match. Oliver points out that John's presence caught the attention of legends like Lennox Lewis, which should tell you everything about his reputation among actual elite fighters. This isn't about youth, speed, or athletic prime. This is about raw power, ring intelligence, and a fearless mindset that makes opponents nervous before the first punch gets thrown. John isn't relying on what he used to be, he's banking on what he still is, and that's a legitimate threat to anyone brave enough or stupid enough to test him.
You honestly think if these two come together like this, well, you know what's going to happen?
So what you
I'm going to keep them apart by a wall of security.
Eddie Hearn captures the real tension perfectly when he talks about needing security for John Fury and Carl Froch interactions. These are two massive personalities with egos, pride, and genuine fighting ability, and their confrontations could spiral out of control instantly. This highlights the real-life danger behind all the media talk. John isn't bluffing about his willingness to fight, and Froch has responded with equal fire. Hearn understands that this is two seasoned warriors, one aggressive family man protecting his legacy, one former world champion defending his reputation, and both are ready to prove their point physically. The security concern underscores how serious this rivalry has become, transforming media hype into legitimate worry about what happens when they're in the same room.
John, I think, went for Carl, shall we say, and you're interested in the fight, aren't you?
I couldn't give a flying toss about that. It's irrelevant to me. All I'm interested in is Tyson being fit and well and doing the business.
Frank Warren keeps everything grounded by reminding everyone that while John Fury's antics generate headlines and social media buzz, the real focus for the family has to remain on Tyson Fury's career and championship legacy. John's fiery challenges create drama and entertainment, but Warren emphasizes the practical priorities: fitness, preparation, professional focus, and strategic planning for Tyson's next fights. This contrast adds depth to the whole situation. John fuels the hype and brings excitement to every press conference, but the actual fight business still revolves around results, performance, and maintaining Tyson's position as the top heavyweight in the world. Warren shows both sides of the coin, appreciating John's intensity while ensuring the Fury legacy stays professionally on track.
Carl Froch, who wins that one?
Difficult one to call, that.
Really?
You got to go with
Really?
Cobra. You got to go with a Cobra, mate.
Really?
The Cobra's dangerous. He's still in shape. 48 years of age.
John standing over there behind you.
You got to go with John Fury. Yeah, no, it kicked off a little bit. But it wasn't only Cole Froch that he went into either, did he? He actually went into Lennox Lewis as well. He started steaming into Lennox Lewis a little bit, and I go, whoa, who wins that one?
Here's what Spencer Oliver wants everyone to understand about John Fury's current threat level. Even at 60, the Cobra carries intimidation, physical strength, and fight experience that most people can't comprehend. He's not just confronting Carl Froch to make headlines. He's sending a message to everyone in boxing that doubting his ability is a dangerous mistake. Oliver notes that John's natural aggression and presence made an impression on heavyweight legends, proving his reputation isn't exaggerated or manufactured for entertainment. This is about pure power, ring intelligence, and a mindset that refuses to acknowledge limitations. John's presence alone changes the dynamic of any confrontation, making opponents wary and uncertain before any physical contact happens. He remains a true warrior who's unafraid of any challenge and determined to prove he's still a dominant force in any room he enters.
What John does, he's very, very, very passionate around his sons when they're fighting, and it gets something out of him. I spoke to him, right, literally face to face, and I said, well, you know, what is upset? He said, I don't want people calling me out because I'll take any man on.
Yeah.
You know the comments.
Yeah.
My God.
Gareth Davies gives us the most revealing look at John Fury's core motivation. His passion for Tyson's career fuels absolutely everything he does. Every challenge, every aggressive outburst, every public confrontation stems from his determination to protect and promote his son's legacy. John doesn't just talk about defending his family. He's genuinely willing to fight anyone who disrespects the Fury name, regardless of their reputation, accomplishments, or perceived danger level. This is classic John Fury behavior, driven by loyalty, intensity, and an unshakable sense of responsibility. Davies shows that John's actions aren't random anger or attention-seeking behavior. They're calculated combinations of pride, courage, and paternal duty. His media appearances might seem wild and unpredictable, but there's method behind the madness. Everything he does is about respect, dominance, and ensuring Tyson's place in boxing history remains untouchable and unquestioned.
That John Fury and Carl Froch on the cobbles will be fun. I think they both have a good fun doing that, but I'm sure it's all fun and games. They like to say what they...
Adam Smith reminds us that while John Fury and Carl Froch's confrontation appears intensely serious, there's definitely a performative element that both men genuinely enjoy. They thrive on controversy, bold statements, larger-than-life personalities, and the attention their interactions generate throughout the boxing community. They understand that their drama creates entertainment value beyond actual fights, bringing casual fans into the sport and keeping everyone engaged between major events. Yet underneath all the showmanship, there's real competitive tension and genuine willingness to prove themselves physically if the situation demands it. Their personalities completely dominate any event they attend, making every interaction unpredictable, exciting, and potentially explosive. Smith recognizes the blend of authentic aggression and calculated entertainment, showing how John and Froch create memorable moments that keep boxing fans fully invested in storylines that extend far beyond championship belts.
To say something that's controversial, and they're two big characters, and we love having them around.
So here's what this entire explosive saga comes down to, and why it's captured the attention of the entire boxing world. When John Fury roared, "Are you my son or his?" at Tyson, it exposed something deeper than family drama. It revealed a man whose pride, ego, and warrior identity were being challenged by the person who should support him unconditionally. This isn't just about proving he can beat Carl Froch anymore. This is about legacy, respect, and showing everyone that age hasn't diminished his fundamental nature as a fighter and protector of the Fury name. Froch brings legitimate world-level experience and proven knockout power, but John carries raw strength, fearless mentality, and decades of proving himself in situations where losing meant more than just professional embarrassment. The question that's driving everyone crazy is whether Tyson was right to protect his father from a dangerous fight, or whether that protection ignited a fire that can only be extinguished in the ring. Who do you think wins if this actually happens? John Fury's raw power and gypsy warrior spirit, or Carl Froch's world championship experience and proven ability? Drop your prediction in the comments. Smash that like button if this breakdown helped you understand what's really happening behind the scenes. Subscribe for more explosive boxing drama, and hit the notification bell because this story is far from over. This whole situation is about to get even more insane because John Fury just made it personal in a way that nobody saw coming. He's not just challenging Carl Froch anymore. He's questioning Froch's entire legacy and suggesting that his world championship reign was built on fighting carefully selected opponents rather than true killers. John's basically saying that Froch never faced someone with genuine gypsy blood, raw street fighting experience, and the kind of unpredictable power that comes from surviving real-life confrontations where rules don't exist. This psychological warfare is next level, because John understands something most people miss: mental intimidation can win fights before they even start. What makes this absolutely fascinating is how the entire boxing establishment is reacting to John's challenge. Promoters who have seen everything are genuinely concerned about the liability issues, insurance complications, and potential legal consequences if two grown men with this much pride and fighting ability actually step into a ring together. But here's the kicker: several major venues are quietly expressing interest in hosting this spectacle, because they know it would sell out instantly. The demand from fans is becoming impossible to ignore, and the financial opportunity is staggering. We're talking about a fight that could generate more pay-per-view buys than some actual world championship bouts, purely because of the personalities, drama, and unpredictable nature of what might happen when these two collide. Carl Froch is responding to John's psychological games with some devastating verbal ammunition of his own. He's reminding everyone that John's fighting reputation comes from an era and environment that has zero relevance to modern boxing, while his own achievements were earned against elite-level competition in front of millions of witnesses. Froch is emphasizing that there's a massive difference between street credibility and professional ring craft, and he's promising to demonstrate that difference in the most painful way possible. But what's really interesting is how Froch keeps accepting John's challenges instead of dismissing them entirely. This suggests he genuinely believes John represents a legitimate threat that needs to be handled decisively rather than ignored. The family dynamics are becoming even more complicated because other Fury family members are starting to take sides in this conflict. Some are supporting John's right to defend his honor and prove his continued relevance, while others agree with Tyson that this fight represents unnecessary risk for potentially devastating consequences. This internal division is tearing at the fabric of family loyalty that has always been the Fury clan's greatest strength. John feels betrayed by what he sees as weakness and overprotection, while Tyson genuinely fears watching his father suffer serious injury for the sake of pride and public perception. Here's where the story takes another wild turn. John Fury has started training seriously for the first time in years, and the footage is absolutely shocking. His power on the heavy bag is still legitimate, his footwork shows decades of ring intelligence, and his conditioning program is more intense than fighters half his age. Training partners are reporting that John's natural strength and timing haven't diminished as much as people assumed, and his sparring sessions are generating genuine concern about what he might be capable of against anyone brave enough to test him. This isn't just an old man living in past glory. This is someone who's proving that his physical tools remain genuinely dangerous. What's driving John absolutely crazy is the suggestion that he's too old, too slow, or too removed from serious competition to handle a former world champion. In his mind, this represents everything wrong with modern boxing's obsession with youth, scientific training methods, and careful opponent selection. John embodies old-school fighting mentality where heart, determination, and raw courage matter more than perfect technique or athletic advantages. He's telling anyone who will listen that Froch's world championship experience means nothing if he's never faced someone willing to die in the ring, rather than lose face in front of his family and community.